How many have you forgiven today? Chapter 12. Complications.
Anon, can you come here?
Bonbon calls out. Bonbon sits there for a moment, but Anon doesn't answer, which is odd because he's rather quick to reply. Maybe he's busy with a customer? She gets up from her seat and walks over to the doors that lead into the main room. When she pokes her head out, she finds something that causes her concern. Lyrae's giving a death glare to a griffin, while the griffin returns the glare equally.
If you call Anon an it one more time, I'll shove our candy so far up your Whoa!
Bonbon quickly comes out and is standing beside Lyrae.
What seems to be the problem?
Lyrae doesn't turn her gaze away from the griffin.
I don't know. This griffin came in asking for Anon. Oh.
Bonbon looks over at the griffin.
Are you a friend of his? Friend?
The griffin turns her attention to Bonbon.
Like I'd be friends with that nest robber!
Bonbon doesn't know what a nest robber is, but it doesn't sound very nice.
Then why do you want to see him? Oh, when I find him, I'm gonna pound his face!
Lyrae gives out a growl as her eyes squint a bit more. The griffin returns her death gaze to Lyrae. Bonbon doesn't know what's going on, but she does know that she's no longer in a kind and understanding mood. She's not gonna let any pony come into her shop and start making threats.
I'm going to kindly ask you to leave,
Bonbon says, trying to keep her voice calm.
What are you gonna do if I don't leave?
The griffin challenges. Bonbon now feels her gaze mimic the one Lyrae's giving the griffin.
So, this griffin wants to play hardball?
Bonbon is fine with that.
Then Lyrae and I are gonna jump over this counter and beat the tar out of you. Trust me, we may not look it, but we can get rough.
There's a small showdown of sorts as the three of them face off. It feels like an eternity passes, but eventually the griffin clicks her beak in frustration.
Mark my words, I'm going to find it, and when I do, it's going to pay for what it did!
That's all it said as she walks out of the store. Bonbon lets out a breath that she wasn't aware she was holding. It's been a long time since she's gotten into a fight, and while she would have backed her words up, it was something that she wanted to avoid. Getting into a hoof fight in the store would have been problematic in the long run. Bonbon looks over at Lyrae and can see that the fur on her back is still on edge.
What do you think that was all about?
Bonbon asks.
I have no idea. Do you think it has something to do with Anon being drunk last night?
Lyrae looks over at Bonbon and gives her a nod.
Yeah, I think so. We should tell Anon.
Bonbon's mind clicks back as to why she even came to the storefronts in the first place.
Oh, where is Anon? Oh!
Lyrae knew that she forgot to tell Bonbon about Anon taking a break.
He was a bit flustered, so I told him to get some fresh air. He hasn't came back, so I can only guess that he was tracked off to the castle.
That makes sense. He probably got pulled off by the princesses, or maybe even Blue Blood.
I'll go to the castle and find Anon. Until then, I need you to take care of the store. Easily done. Alright.
Bonbon gives Lyrae a peck on the cheek, and that seems to calm her down.
I'll be back soon.
Bonbon walks around the counter and towards the front door. If she's quick enough, she can get to the castle in a few minutes. Yet what Bonbon didn't see as she walked towards the castle was the shadow that hung over her building.
I'll find you,
Gilda says as she watches the pony, taking to the sky so she could follow.
Thanks, stud. I feel like a new mare.
Blossom compliments Anon as she stretches in his room. Don't expect me to do this all the time.
Well, it's only fair to scratch my back when I scratch yours.
So I'll owe you if my life is even in danger? She shakes her head.
Oh, of course not. Something like that is out of your control. But when you ask me to do something in secrecy, then yes, you owe me.
I'll be sure to ask less of you. Blossom rolls her eyes at the seriousness in his tone. She walks over to Anon, who's sitting on his bed, to catch his attention.
Listen, I'm not going to make you do something that you'd be totally uncomfortable with. That'd go against everything I stand for as a captain.
She makes sure to look Anon in the eyes the entire time.
I've known Luna for centuries. I know how much she cares about you. So I would never break the trust that she's placed on me when it comes to protecting you. If you need something, anything, don't hesitate to ask me. But every so often, I'll ask for something in return. That's what friends do, and I want us to be friends. If we can't trust one another, then how can I protect you when the time comes?
Anon keeps eye contact with Blossom for a while. He looks away with a sigh as he digests everything that she laid on him. He hates this pony for all the wrong reasons. He knows that he can trust her. She gives off the same vibe that he gets when he's around Celestian Luna. A pony far older and wiser than they let on. Everything she said is correct. She's known Luna far longer than him, and Luna herself trusted Blossom to watch over him. To question her is to question Luna, and Anon has a lot of trust in Luna. Friends? Blossom nods.
There's no reason for us to not be. If there is, then tell me why.
He gives a small chuckle. He doesn't have a good reason. I guess I have no reason. We'll see how well of a friend you can be. She smiles at him.
Well, I'm happy to hear that.
Anon can already feel himself becoming uncomfortable. It's always weird making friends, right? Or maybe it's just him. So, what now?
Do you need help with anything else?
Nothing I can think of.
Well, I guess I can head on back to my office.
She lets out a sigh.
Plenty of paperwork is waiting for me.
Anon isn't too sure why, but perhaps being a bit more helpful will be beneficial to this new friendship. Do you want some help? She looks at Anon with surprise.
Help?
He nods. I've been with Celestia during Decor before. I'm sure I can handle a little paperwork. We're friends after all, right?
I think I'm gonna like this relationship.
Yeah, just remember that you'll owe me this time. Blossom gets a smirk on her face.
Oh, I see how it is.
See how what is? Her smirk never leaves as she approaches Anon, placing a hoof on each leg and moves higher so that they're face to face.
I wonder what depraved things you have in mind. I'm a mare after all, and I'm not blind to the fact that you're a male that has certain needs.
Anon can't help the snort that comes out of him. He can easily tell that Blossom is messing with him. Oh, you sure have a large ego.
I bet that's not the only thing that's large in this room.
Anon stands up as Blossom falls back onto her four hooves. Blossom can't contain herself anymore, she starts to laugh. Anon can only shake his head at her odd sense of humor. It really differs from what he's used to. Celestia and Luna are polar opposites, but neither of them are so raunchy. Not that he's a prude or anything, it's just really weird for him, considering the entire situation. Alright, you've had your fun. Now am I gonna help you, or should I just leave? Blossom flies up and slaps Anon on the back.
You don't have to be so serious all the time, I'm just messing with you.
How would you like it if I messed with you?
Oh, give it your best shot.
Anon wraps his arms around Blossom and pulls her to his chest. He moves his right hand to her belly and starts to rub it vigorously. Blossom doesn't know what's happening right now, but she can't even feel her brain work anymore, as she feels Anon's fingers dig into her stomach. It feels so good that she lost all of her will to fight or think. Anon smiles in triumph as he feels Blossom melt into his arms. Once he's sure that she's nice and slack, he opens his arms wide and drops her onto the floor.
Ow!
She looks up at him with a frown.
You jerk, why'd you drop me?
I'm just messing with you, Blossom. Blossom gets up and smooths out her fur a bit.
Alright, we're even,
She says.
Now if you'll follow me, we can get to my office.
Blossom points for Anon to walk towards the door to his room. He does so, but quickly trips and hits the ground. He lets out a groan as he looks back to see Blossom has her hoof out.
Whoops.
She walks past him.
Actually, now we're even.
Anon picks himself off the floor and dusts himself off. Of course you realize this means war. Blossom looks over her withers at him with a large smile on her face.
Bring it on, stud. There we are, all clean.
Celestia rests the wet towel she used on Blue Blood on the floor, as she drapes a dry one on his neck so that he could dry his mane.
Thank you for helping me. You know I don't mind, Blue.
Celestia gets up and moves the dirty towels to a hamper.
Do you have anything special planned today?
Blue Blood shakes his head.
No, I was actually thinking about eating.
Blue is right. It is rather late, around lunchtime as a matter of fact.
Oh, I am a bit parched. Do you mind if I join? Of course not. I wonder if Anon is still around.
Celestia rubs a hoof against her chin, but returns her gaze to Blue Blood.
He's probably back at work. Let's not wait any longer.
Blue Blood has a large smile on his face as Celestia and him walk out of the bathroom and towards the dining hall. Oh, it seems that this pony hasn't paid his fine. Anon leans over to show Blossom the paperwork.
Oh yeah, that pony has been dodging us for a while now. Any suggestions?
Do ponies do taxes? She nods. Oh, then remove the amount from his tax returns this year.
I'll be sure to send the instructions to the number crunchers upstairs.
Anon writes a note on how they've planned to deal with this pony, staples it together, and places it into the done pile. He reaches over and grabs another paper and looks it over. He feels his brow raise as he reads the details. Princess Luna, this is my third request to watch the human. I know you said that the elements are taking care of him, but I think that having more eyes isn't a bad idea. The paper in Anon's hand is snatched away in an instant. When he looks up at Blossom, he notices that her face was looking a bit more serious. Not that he did anything wrong, but as if her thoughts were taken to some other time. What's that about, Blossom? Anon asks. Blossom looks down at the letter she took. It has been a while since she last read it. She can remember herself writing it about a year or so ago.
Wow, to think it's been so long. This was my request to watch over you when you first came to Equestria.
She lays the paper down on the table.
I was denied multiple times, but I still tried. I just had an odd feeling about those days.
She looks up at the ceiling.
I guess all that stuff is in the past now, right?
I guess. Anon doesn't agree with that statement. He relives his past every waking moment, but there's no reason to put a damper on that mood. So, you wanted to watch over me, even back then?
Something like that.
What, you wanted to make sure I wasn't gonna destroy the planet, right? She chuckles.
I guess that would be accurate.
Blossom looks over all the paperwork that remains. Anon really did help her take a large chunk out of her work.
How about we take a break?
Anon stretches in place. Yeah, I can use a breather.
Wanna head to the dining hall and get something to eat?
Sure. Blossom smiles a bit more as she gets up from her seat.
Then, what are we waiting for?
No shot Blossom has a secret little crush on Anon. She may say it's all teasing, but there's something hidden. Anywho, let's get on to our stealthy donators. Top donators are 630, J10 Man, Only One Thing, Ceru, Orion, and IronSky. Darkside, Rayden, Narwhals, Blackmoonheart, Pastel Skies, Austin Rolan, Stu Hex, Swordbrother and Mordred, Omicron, Lyrae, Will, Chris, Twinkie, Riot Soul, Badass Waffle, Shadow Moon, Luigi88, and many more amazing people. Thank you all so much for watching this video and live life to the fullest.